Corruption, not receding in Africa, a critical review. Recent data underscore that corruption remains deeply rooted across many African nations, with little evidence of substantial progress in combating it. In fact, several key indicators suggest that corruption may not be receding, highlighting persistent governance challenges and weak institutional accountability across the continent. 8. Public perception of rising corruption. According to Afrobarometer's 2021 to 2023 surveys in 39 countries, about 58% of Africans say corruption in their country increased somewhat or a lot in the previous year. Only a small minority believe their governments are doing well at fighting corruption. And weak performance in corruption indices. Sub-Saharan Africa registers an average score of 33 out of 100 on the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, placing it among the lowest scoring regions globally. The majority of countries in the region fall below a score of 50, indicating high perceived levels of corruption. Severe abuses in specific countries. In South Sudan, a UN Commission report documents systematic looting of public funds, such as the Oil for Roads initiative, where billions have reportedly been misallocated or stolen. Meanwhile, service delivery remains abysmal, even in basic sectors like healthcare. Obstacles to accountability. Even where corruption is recognized, citizens often fear retaliation if they attempt to report wrongdoing. More than 2/3 of respondents in the Afrobarometer surveys believe that resources intended for crises, e.g. COVID-19, have been diverted by corrupt actors. Police, tax officials, civil servants, event schools are among the institutions most commonly perceived as corrupt. Why corruption persists? From these findings, some reasons emerge. 1. Institutional weakness. Judiciary systems, anti-corruption agencies, and regulatory bodies often lack independence, resources, or political will. 2. Lack of transparency and oversight. Projects with large sums, and especially infrastructure or extractives, are often opaque, with limited public scrutiny. 3. Impunity and political protection. Leaders or well-connected individuals often evade consequences, reinforcing the idea that corruption pays. In most of the very corrupt countries, some citizens could be stronger than the country, and therefore could not be brought to justice. 4. Public disillusionment and fear. When citizens perceive reporting corruption as dangerous or futile, it entrenches a culture of impunity, eroding any meaningful deterrence. In several African countries, whistleblowers who expose powerful elites have faced intimidation, persecution, and even assassination, while state institutions often lack the independence or will to investigate such crimes. This climate of fear silences accountability, allowing corruption to flourish unchecked and further weakening public trust in governance. 5. Clampdown on social media. Across many African countries, governments have resorted to restricting or blocking social media platforms to suppress public criticism and limit the free exchange of ideas. These digital clampdowns, often justified under the guise of national security or public order, reflect a deliberate strategy to silence dissent and weaken civic oversight. By curbing the online spaces where citizens expose corruption and mobilize for accountability, authorities reveal a deep fear of digital democracy and a determined effort to shield corrupt practices from public scrutiny. Although there are pockets of progress, the overall trend in Africa is one of stagnation or even worsening corruption rather than meaningful decline. To turn the tide, stronger institutions, genuine political accountability, better transparency, and protection for whistleblowers are necessary. Without these, corruption will remain a central impediment to economic development, equity, and public trust. Join the conversation and stay informed Follow @Diaspoint for real-time updates, breaking stories and uncompromising insights on the forces shaping Africa. Diaspoint, Voices of Africa's Diaspora, powering change.